Chapter 10. The False Chariot. You must understand that the substance you call your body is very much like the body of an automobile. The chassis on which the substance forms is the eternal part of you. You can lose a limb or smash the body, and the chassis of your reality continues on. In physical level requirements, your material body is of an animal structure following the form of eternal man in the essence of your real self. The material structure is given life by the fact that the forms of crystals within the bloodstream are the powerhouse of your every motion. These microscopic crystals in the blood diffuse, refract, and reflect the positive-negative light passing through you continuously. These crystals often become neutral. They lose their power like a magnet. Each of these crystals is polarized and carries polarity in opposition. This brings about the flow of your blood through light energy. Many times as these crystals neutralize, they will settle in the feet. This is the reason for the ancient teachings concerning the position of standing on the head to circulate these crystals that have become neutral. The heart is caused to function by the circulation of the blood instead of vice versa. The heart serves only as a valve to keep the circulation going in one direction. The structure of arteries is such that the cellular and atomic composition brings about a positive force upon the crystals in the bloodstream. The veins are such that negative force of light energy functions through them. Being of animal structure, man in the physical body requires crystals of an animal nature. Various refractory crystals found in animal foods are not reproduced by vegetation. The history of the mechanics of motion throughout the universe is locked in crystals. The records of all that is, all that was, and ever shall be are concealed in the frequencies of various elements known and unknown in their crystal perfection. Life is only given motion through various particles of matter in many forms. As the Bible tells you, the blood is the life. It transmits and circulates light energy into substance form of animal nature, which conforms to the pattern of man's real form. The flesh fills the real body, although the real body extends beyond the skin boundaries of the physical. Are you born in this form called the physical body? No, I said that wrong. As you are born in this form called the physical body, your instant beginning in this level was brought here in the seed, or the control master cell, through the infinite G-line of light force. The control master cell was the beginning of your physical body. Under the functions of the control master cell, there are many other master cells. These master cells compose each one a center, the beginning of your vital organs and glands. The brain is a gland. The control master cell is the essence of form. It is subject to absorption of characteristics from both the male and the female parents. The consciousness of being is the center of the control master cell, maintaining the records of all previous lives and experiences in other levels. As these cells grow, bringing from a seed the form controlled by the absorption of the control master cell, each child is endowed with good and bad traits of both parents. Okay, I'll do it in a minute. Gotta go put my chickens in. Let me start this one over again. As these cells grow, bringing from a seed the form controlled by the absorption of the control master cell, each child is endowed with good and bad traits of both parents. The seed which came over the infinite line of force contained none of the parents' characteristics. As this control master cell gives instructions, each master cell comes to attention in the proper position in the body, like a well-regimented army. All officers. Each of these officer master cells gathers recruits from the atomic substances in the A and B lines of force. and develops each their own individual portion of the physical body. This continues until so-called death on this level. Roughly every 7 years, these master cell intelligences, centering the organs and glands, are relieved by other officers. Roughly every 28 years, the control master cell is relieved by another, better qualified in more mature lines. The secret of long life is in the ability, through consciousness, to control the change of these control master cells. Some people have assumed that the mind of individuals is in the head, because through progressive conditioning, they have been led to believe that the brain is the control of the mind. The mind is infinite and universal. The mind is not confined within the body. By observing with the third eye, or the consciousness of your positive polarity vision, do not assume that the ability of this particular awareness is located anywhere within the physical body. Those whose concept of this vision is from the pineal gland area will naturally seem to focus in that area. Actually, your consciousness of individual being is all over your body, and any particular experience is concentrated at the point of greatest sensation. If you smash a toe and the toe hurts, that is the point at which your greatest concentration of consciousness is recorded. The consciousness of your individual being moves with your emotions. It flares with various ones of these emotions and recedes with others. Mind, being universal, is all through you, and you are in it. Your consciousness is the doorway to universal mind. The scope of your consciousness can be increased with practice, because you observe ahead of you with your negative polarity physical vision. You assume to look ahead of you with your inner vision. This is limiting your scope. A particular time to practice the expansion of your consciousness awareness is when you retire at night. When you close your eyes, do not attempt to concentrate a light or your positive vision at the center of the forehead. Attempt to penetrate into the blackness, into the depths with your projective inner vision. Look into the darkness, focus deeply and further away. It is possible with practice to focus your inner vision as you do your physical vision. Attempt to extend your inner vision. Penetrate further and further each night into the darkness. If you are outside observing the stars, try to look beyond the stars. In the spaces between them, attempt to see another star where none can be seen with your limited physical vision. This practice with the physical vision will also expand the inner vision. With constant and regular practice, you should be able within a 6-month period to throw the limits of your forward vision out. You should expand your inner vision to cover 360 degrees and see as well behind as ahead or on either side. The limits of your forward physical vision are not applicable to the inner vision. The nightly practice will reveal to you that many things are within the scope of your inner vision, and your mind concept enlarges. Your consciousness penetrates with your attempt to extend your inner vision, and you grasp more of what mind is. What is life? What is light? Who is God? Where is heaven? These and many other questions are asked by numerous people daily. Whenever there is life, there is light, and whenever there is light, there is God. Orthodoxy preaches that God is of a male gender, saying he or him. Thus, implication gives to the Creator sex. The single one is an ity, I-T-Y, composed of uncountable entities. The Creator is a power of infinite, boundless eternity. Wherever life manifests motion, there is soul in polarity opposition. Wherever life manifests motion and consciousness, there is spirit intelligence present as a part of the creative mind. Dimensional aspects of individuals in densities leads to spiral inclinations of finer levels of life. You are all sitting in God, breathing God in, and He is manifesting life in physical form to his right hand of positive polarity and his left hand of negative polarity. In between the uncountable billions of lines of light energy passing through you, there scientifically is God, insulating the oppositely polarized light energies from each other. Centering your consciousness individually, there is the staff of light and life eternal. Though God is still the opposite light, energies are in motion. When you move any muscle, light energy is the motive power. Light energy functions through the spirit. The single one is universal spirit, unseen, potent, supreme intelligence, composed of innumerable individual minds. When you record through any sense of smell, touch, taste, sight, hearing, thought, or being, it is the spirit of you that records the action. The substance of flesh is inert to sensing. The conscious mind of God is yours to use like a universal library, but each must enter through his individual door to read the records. Mundane philosophers, scientific theories, or religious beliefs do not serve as keys to enter God's house. You each must individually open your own door, and when you do, you will discover first that you were inside all the time, but were not aware of it. Few people who attend church understand the beginning of the church. The church buildings today are patterned after an ancient worship. Man and woman originally assumed they had reached a state of being, part of God, in the ultimate, in the physical body, when the woman gave birth to a child. The man and the woman considered they had performed a creative act. This is the primary urge of all creation, to recreate. The understanding of the people was that two things entered into the act of recreation, the male and the female, were essential to birth. In the time of the ancients, religious worship was conducted in the open. The ancient rites were conducted where a large rock pointed heavenward, symbolizing the projective male, and where another rock presented a cleavage representing the female. These phallic rites were conducted in reverence, although modern history would lead us to believe that they were sex orgies. The rites were worship in the most sincere form. The church buildings today still present the spire to heaven as the symbol of the projective male. The double open doors still represent the cleavage, the receptive opening of the female. Modern society does not understand sex and its relation to religion. They cannot be separated. The act of bringing a child to birth is not the part of the parent's choice. It is the choice of the child that brings it to birth through the parents. Although many would try to prevent having children, those who are qualified will have children in spite of themselves. Throughout history, sex has been mentioned more than any other subject. The Bible is full of it. Everyone wants to be in on the act because it is the natural, conducive method of recreation. Naturally, when any predominant thought is brought forth, there is always opposition. Those who oppose the recreative act choose to isolate themselves and become ascetics. This is their choice because primarily they do not feel responsible for bringing new life from the old. Many of these so-called masters that have isolated themselves from society are fakes. They are escapists. They are looking for a way out of the responsibilities of life. They have no reverence toward anything, although they would present a front to make others believe that they are sacred people. Throughout the universe, birth is a privilege of parents. It is the proof manifest that they are qualified to recreate with the Creator. Recreation is the eternal progression of creation. Science is the art of measuring the ever-changing progression. The sciences converted to the destruction of today will only result in a disaster that will be a lesson for the future.